finalitzar a 25 com a màxim, per qüestions de feina. Gràcies. Insisto, una pregunta por turno y decís vuestro nombre y el medio al cual representáis. Muchas gracias. Edgar, aquí, gràcies.
Hola, Luis. Edgar Fornós, de Barça TV. Bona tarda. M'agradaria saber com arriba l'equip a aquesta gran cita, tenint en compte que hi ha hagut aquesta aturada i que els jugadors han anat arribant aquests dies. Gràcies.
Bona tarda. Pues llegamos de la mejor manera, porque el partido invita a estar al 100%, porque han vuelto, a excepción de Jeremy, que es la nota negativa de esta convocatoria de selecciones, que ha vuelto lesionado. El resto han vuelto en perfectas condiciones y motivados y pensando ya en el partido de mañana.
Hola Luis, aquí. Ashraf Benaed de BN Sports. Los tres de arriba, Messi, Suárez y Neymar, han viajado muchísimos kilómetros, todo lo contrario que la BBC. ¿Le preocupa el cansancio que puedan acusar?
No. Este tipo de partidos generan tal energía en los jugadores que no me preocupa en absoluto.
Sí, aquí al costat, sisplau.
Sí, Sergi Andreu, en directe per Catalunya Informació i Catalunya Ràdio. Quin partit visualitzes demà? O quin Madrid t'esperes? Sortint a buscar-vos a dalt, esperant al darrere, disputant-vos la possessió de la pilota?
Bueno, basado un poco en lo que hemos visto en los últimos partidos del Real Madrid, bueno, tienen diferentes opciones.
We expect a typical match from Real Madrid.
Puede ser que esperen más en un repliegue
We
medio.
think that they'll be
Han ido alternando
pressing
ese
up
tipo de
high,
situaciones en función de los
battling
rivales
for
que han
balls in
tenido
midfield.
Bueno, son de las cosas que tenemos que resolver mañana en función de lo que veamos en el campo.
Other things that we'll have to resolve based on what happens out on the field.
Es totalmente definible y clara nuestra opción, pasa por tener el balón, solo hay
We know what we want to do, which is have the ball
el mayor tiempo posible y a partir de ahí
and keep
hacer las
our
cosas que
possession as high as possible so we can do what
con el
we
balón,
want
ser efectivos y
and be effective
evitar que el rival pueda mostrar su calidad, que la tiene.
keep our opponents from doing what they want to do. A question from Raku.
En algun sentit el partit de dimarts i en el plantejament fins i tot?
Can you comment on the starting lineup tomorrow because of the coming match on Tuesday? Is there a match on Tuesday? No. The game coming up has no influence. I'm only thinking about tomorrow's match. A question from Cadena Ser. Your goalkeeper, Ter Stegen, has said that he wanted to play more. And are you worried about his situation? I don't have anything to comment about that, and if it's not related to tomorrow's match, I don't think it's interesting to anybody, not the fans or the players, nor me. A question from Radio Nacional. Tomorrow, the team has the opportunity to pay tribute to Johan Cruyff. Do you think it will have an effect on the competitive spirit of your team? Barca has a competitive spirit, without any question. We just want to be motivated. Too much motivation would be a mistake. And we don't want to be below that level either. We want to be as good as we can. That's what we look for in tomorrow's game. Apart from that, Real Madrid isn't exactly the easiest team to do that against. And talking about tributes and homage to Johan Cruyff, I think we would like more than anything to win the game and play well and provide entertainment for the fans and show it out on the field.
Carlos Escolán, en directo para Radio Marca. Buenas tardes.
A question from Radio Marca.
Tanto en el Madrid como el Barça.
You played in a lot of El Clásicos for both Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. I don't know about your memory of the specific games,
que hay un partido importante contra el Atlético de Madrid.
but
que un derbi o un partido de estas características puede ser descafeinado?
Do you think, because of the coming match with Atletico Madrid, that tomorrow's game might be less intense? No, I don't think so. We have a chance to continue our run, to grow our lead in the standings. These are the two best teams in the world.
Las mejores plantillas o unas de las mejores plantillas en
and
Europa, sino en el mundo, y
it's not just in Europe, but also in the
otra cosa es
world.
que luego en un torneo de la regularidad nosotros estemos a un
But we're
muy buen
talking
nivel,
about the league, and
y a ellos les haya
we're
costado
playing very
más,
well,
pero
and they've had
partido muy complicado
it a
para
little
todos.
bit more difficult, but it will be a tough match tomorrow, regardless. A question from Cadena Cope. Do you think Real Madrid are capable of winning tomorrow at Camp Nou and staying in the fight for the league? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It really doesn't matter to me. I just am worried about winning the game and the things that I can control. In football, there are a lot of things where you have to wait and see what happens, and some things you can control, some things you can't. A question from ESPN. If Messi scores a goal tomorrow, it will be his 500th in his career. What do you think about that number? I think it's from another planet, another galaxy, that number. He scored a lot of goals. It's impressive. For sure, I've seen his face. And I think that we've seen that what he said as well, more important than scoring the goal is winning the game. And also the happiness that we can give our fans if we're capable of playing our game and being better than our opponents. The question coming from the media in Mexico. What's more important, showing your superiority against Real Madrid or winning the game tomorrow? We want to reinforce our position in the league standings. We're first based on what we've done throughout the season on our own merit, and we just have to keep going and confirm it and get the 3 points tomorrow. A question from Onda Cero. You've always said that your dressing room tries to stay away from euphoria, but you've gone almost 40 games without losing. You're way up in the standings. You're playing at home in your stadium against Real Madrid. What can you say about that? It's very positive. It's very good to see all those things based on what we've done up till now, but it doesn't give us anything starting with the opening whistle tomorrow. We hope to control the game with possession and bring ourselves closer to victory, which is something we need to do, especially against Real Madrid. But from there, we know that it's going to be difficult. I hope to see Camp Nou on fire with the people really into the game, because we're going to need extra help, especially to add pressure to Real Madrid. And we hope to see the fans in their maximum level, and my team as well, competing, as they always do, but against the arch rivals, even more so. What differences do you see with the Real Madrid of today with Zinedine Zidane versus that of Rafa Benitez and the team that you beat 4-0 earlier in the season? There's nothing that I have to analyze about that. This is a completely different game. There are some differences, some small differences, things that we have to take into account, but I'm not going to talk about that publicly. My players know what I think about that. I will tell you that I think that we can make things tough for Real Madrid, and that my players, it's their job to go out and play. A question from TV3. Thinking about beating Real Madrid and coming closer to the league title tomorrow, do you think it will be a big shot to Real Madrid's morale? Yes, I think so. And yes, and also to Atletico Madrid, because they're the second team.
Hola, Luis.
And it'll be something that we will have deserved, if that's the case. A question from Movistar Plus. Aleix Vidal said yesterday that he didn't care whether you win 4-0 again, as in the first half of the season. Do you have the same feeling? What do you mean? 4-0, is that what you mean? To win tomorrow? Exactly.
Hay preguntas que no.
There are
no
questions
contestarlas, ¿no?
that don't really need to be answered.
Por favor.
I think the answer is obvious.
A la ida, antes de la ida parecía
Question from Gazzetta dello Sport.
había encontrado su equilibrio con Casemiro en el campo, pero en el Clásico no jugó con
Real Madrid has been playing a lot more with Casemiro in the midfield, but he didn't play the first game against you.
Parece que mañana todo apunta que jugará Casemiro.
It seems that tomorrow he will play. Can you comment on the possibility of having to go up against him in midfield?
Clara de lo que es esto del fútbol.
This is a reflection of that happens from time to time in football. Maybe you can ask Benitez why he didn't play in the first half of the season, but the coaches, we have to come to the teams, we have to see the players and decide who plays. Casemiro is a good defensive player who adds balance to their team. He gives them intensity, and he's physical. And he was used by Benitez, now he's using Zidane. It will be the reason why is because he's pretty good.
Poco después de que estuviese en Cruz. Me gustaría preguntarte qué recuerdos tienes tú de él y en qué medida él como entrenador del
Can you talk about the memories that you have from these games around the time that Johan Cruyff was the coach or left FC Barcelona? 1996 is another story. I don't even remember 2000 or 2005. I can't talk about the influence that those games have from that long ago. I wasn't able to be involved when Johan Cruyff was the coach, but I was with the club for many years. And looking at some of the systems that FC Barcelona have run over the years, it's clear that Cruyff was one of the ones who perfected those systems, then Pep Guardiola, and it's something that's been in the club for many years, but it's difficult for me to evaluate that type of question. The question from Chile. How have you seen Claudio Bravo recently and in the game earlier in the season? How do you see him coming into the game tomorrow? I see him in perfect condition.
Hola Luis. Diego. Tiago Arantes de ESPN Brasil.
The question from ESPN Brazil. Such a competitive, intense, and evenly balanced game like this tomorrow. What do you think Neymar can bring to the game to give your team the advantage? He's one of the players on our attack whose job it is to create an imbalance. And I think for them, the most important thing is to come into the game in optimal condition and to have everything under control, physically and emotionally, to be a difference maker in the game.
Que creia que el partit de demà podria ser ideal per la BBC, per la seva davantera. Quina importància creus que tindran els
What importance do you think that the two attacking trios will have in the game tomorrow? More than just the attacking front lines of both teams, I'm looking at the entire teams. They need, both trios need their teammates to pass them the ball, to give assists, to make spaces for them, to pressure the other team. We have to be compact, to have the ball, and to play fundamentally sound. And they have to play the way they're capable of playing, the way they always have. And they have to perform the way they can. A question from Deportes 4. As a player, you played in some games where the other team scored 5 goals, 5-goal games. Do you think that that could happen tomorrow, a 5-goal game? Tomorrow is a very difficult game for us, for them as well, but for us, certainly it's a difficult game.
Hola, buenas tardes. Ángel Pérez de Mundo Deportivo.
A question from Mundo Deportivo.
Algunos partidos a la circunstancia de que se han convertido en partidos de ida y vuelta y los clásicos de por sí acostumbran a ser de estas características. ¿Hasta qué punto os puede
El
beneficiar y qué
Clásicos
circunstancias positivas podríais sacar si el partido fuese a
have
estos cauces mañana?
been back and forth games on the field. What do you think about that? Do you think tomorrow's game will be like that? From what we've seen, Real Madrid is very dangerous in the transition game. They can do a lot of damage on the counterattack. But I prefer to have a more relaxed game based more on possession of the ball, and that when we need to accelerate, that there can be transitions. There will be counterattacks both for them and for us, based on the characteristics of the players involved, but I hope it's a different kind of game. It doesn't mean that I don't think we can win a game that's a constant back and forth, but I prefer a game where we can do more damage to Real Madrid. The question from El Mundo. Talking about the 4-3-3 system and Barca's own style throughout these last years with different coaches. Can you comment on that? Well, besides basing our football on entertaining the fans, you go to the theater and you see a show that's not very good and you don't like it. Same thing at the cinema. If you go to a movie and you didn't like it, you leave shaking your head. If you go to a football match, you want to be entertained, and that's what Barca is trying to do. Not just win, but to do it and create a sense of spectacle. And the players that we sign go into that philosophy. We have one of the teams with the smallest players in Europe because we're looking for individual quality, players that can control the ball with a certain style of play. And if we continually play a style of play where we have the ball constantly, those types of situations are the ones that play out. Everybody through the years has come through basically with the same idea. There are some small differences through each coach that have developed throughout the years. But that's the way it is in this club, and I think it's going to be continuing like that in the future. It's tough to do that in other clubs because it's something that has to be developed throughout the years, year after year, that everybody has to continue to be faithful to that idea.
Javier Mascherano vuelve de muchos kilómetros.
Javier Mascherano has played a lot of minutes recently, has run a lot of kilometers. His role is key in your team, not just as a player, but as a leader as well. What can you say about Javier Mascherano? Well, of the two teams, the two games with the Argentinian national team, one he didn't play, and the other one I didn't see. But I think that he's in very good condition. He brings us a lot of tactical and strategic things on the field. He's very smart with the ball and being able to get the ball to his teammates. He's integral to our defensive line. He has a lot of experience, and he's in excellent physical condition. A question from ESPN. Can you give a probability for winning the league if you win tomorrow's game? Well, it depends on some of our other rivals. It depends on what happens with Atletico Madrid. They also play this weekend. But it's sure that after every week, there are less games left, fewer games left. And winning a game against one of your opponents that is also in the running for the title can be the difference maker. A question from La Sexta. When Real Madrid is defined as the eternal rival, the arch rival, how do you define that? It's difficult to define what it means to be your eternal rival. It's something between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. It's sports related. It's something between the two clubs. But there's nothing that excites a Barca fan more than beating Real Madrid. and vice versa. If you ask the players for Real Madrid, beating us is extremely important. If you look at what's happened in the last few years, I think we've been better the last couple of years. And I just hope that we put on a show and that the best team may win.
Camp Tito Vilanova, 15 minuts oberts als mitjans de comunicació.
Good afternoon.
I la llista de convocats es facilitarà demà.
The team is going out to train, and at 10:30 tomorrow morning, the squad was reviewed. Thank you for listening.